Well, hello there, and welcome to I Was Asked to Start the Podcast in an Old Man's Voice, but not told what to say.
In 5D.
5D.
You just had 5 dimensions of me making that shit up on the spot. You're fucking
I'm
welcome.
making old man voicery.
Okay, so how is it that you don't get shit for saying absolute nonsense? And I did the same thing like 2 fucking openings ago, and it was like, oh, look at the Mexican. He's fucking up.
I can explain this really fucking well. I'm better than you.
Oh, please. Not even,
No, wait, what
not
are you,
even
racist?
a little. Like, maybe you're prettier than me, but I don't know about better.
Good
Okay,
shit. So,
anyways, how
so
is
you guys doing
everybody?
this week?
Pretty good. I watched the movie, so we'll talk about that later.
Woo!
I also I did a test run yesterday on the stream I was talking about.
Right on.
I'm calling it a girl and a guy gaming corner, and it was fuck awful.
Right
But
on.
I did gain 1 follower.
Hey, that's better than none, man. Good job.
That's
and what about
infinitely
Steven?
better than 0. Well, it's
Yeah,
not infinitely
that is
better,
true.
but it's 1 better than 0.
No, actually, 1 is significantly infinite when it comes to compared to 0.
Nah,
just, you know.
I'm not that grand about the
Anyways,
universe.
so how are you doing then, Devin?
I'm very tired, but I built this lovely new background you see behind you. Mm-hmm. And Eduardo was busy. He built these lovely new borders that surround us. It's got my name.
He
Steven's
half-assed
name.
mine, but it's okay.
And Eduardo's name gets to be extra fancy because he designed them. No complaints here. Shabazo.
I think
And
it's
then
all...
our icon was designed by well, not designed, but this nicer version of it was made by do we say his name?
Actually,
I don't know,
the icon is still the original. We just spruced it up.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's been redone. It's nice. It's bold. I like it. So originally designed by Steven, but who did the freshening? Who freshened?
Actually, Van did the freshening.
Really? Okay, so thank you,
Okay.
Eduardo's fiance Van, for freshening. And for those of you listening on the podcast and the download, not on this live stream, thank you to DJ Full Metal Racket for the opening theme. We've had it going for a while, but I feel like we need to say his name more.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
totally.
We need to. That's what we're about here. We need to show the love for all the people who've
Indeed.
helped us out
Yep.
with this. So
Thank
thank
you
you
very
to
much.
all those people. And that's what I've been up to. I've been up to kissing the ass of all the people who build things for us.
All right. So
You know what?
I'm-
We need a kiss ass. We got the whore. Now we have the kiss ass.
Yeah.
Now what do you do, Eddie?
Yeah, what the fuck do you bring to the table, pal?
I am not a trope.
No, you provide us with entertainment in the form of using your Spanish accent. And
That's the best he's got. I'm not really cliche, guys.
What? I'm a person. I'm a normal person. I apologize for not being special.
You're not special.
But actually, I'm gonna go right into the e-news to get
Okay.
us started here.
Should we sing a song?
E-News. Oh, yeah, it's E-News.
Okay, we should never sing that.
I want
song
to tell you
again.
some shit.
Yeah, see, that was good. That was good.
All right. So, up first, I don't know if you guys saw that. Ben Stiller announces Zoolander 2.
You know, I did see that, but I didn't think it was that much of an announcement. They just walked across a stage.
No. It was more. It was more than that. They were talking about that. It's mostly filmed, I believe. And there were a couple different angles. Like if you look at the pages, the different pages, a guy was sitting there and trying to do like that selfie thing on the runway while they were doing the walk. Stiller walks up, steals his phone, and starts making like poses to it. Scrunching his face up like.
He was doing Magnum.
Yeah, he was doing Magnum all up in that shit. Phrasing. I'm calling it on myself. But yeah, so that was pretty good. I think my first reaction was like, aren't they really old? And the whole, model
So
bit?
That's the plot.
Really?
That's the plot of the movie, is that it's been 10
Well, that's at
years,
least decent.
and in the fashion industry, 10 years is fucking forever. So these 2 models are nearly forgotten.
Okay.
So this is them making their big push to come back
So-
to modeling.
Here's the thing, though. Regards that, I saw Ben Stiller in, like, the last movie he did, and his hair completely, like, peppered gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I saw him in the runway, and it is fucking black as midnight. So I'm just
Well,
like,
yeah, because he probably went and got it dyed.
well, obviously. But
I mean, I know that's a new invention to you, but they can
Yeah, they
actually
don't
change
have
the
that in
color of your
Mexico.
hair.
That's true. They don't have that.
Yeah.
Yes, because Mexico is the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Helpful. Anyways, so Zoolander
I didn't fucking
2.
do it.
Zoolander 2 to me is just like a, eh. I mean,
Well,
I wasn't
if you
too
think
big
that's-
on the original.
If you
so-
think that's mad, just wait till this next one. Tim Burton doing a live-action Dumbo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the opposite of eh. That's
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how you would do that. I mean, is it just gonna be like
I
those-
love your thinking, how would you do that? Because really, with any other director, you wouldn't question it. You'd go, okay, it's just a movie, CG elephant flies around. But with Burton, you know he has to put a dorky, gothy twist on the whole thing. So now your brain immediately goes, well, how the fuck is he supposed to do that? Nobody else would you even be
the
asking
elephant's
this
gonna be less
question.
gray. The
So
elephant's
is
gonna
he
be less
just gonna be
gray.
like, have Johnny Depp be like, I am Dumbo and I think I can fly with these ears?
Yeah,
and
really, it's
things."
just about a junkie who keeps taking LSD, and he thinks he's an elephant who can fly, and that's the movie.
That probably would be a movie that he'd do.
You'd watch it.
Not really.
I don't know. I imagine it's gonna be it's gonna have Johnny Depp and possibly what is it, Tenenbaum, or I forget. I'm fuck awful at names, but anyways,
I mean, I am too,
Tannenbaum?
but it looks like pretend to try.
What do they do? Who did they play? Because I don't know who Tenenbaum is.
I probably fucked up the name.
I'm aware, so
I'm
now
moving
explain
on.
to me who it is so I can figure it out.
Yeah, like give us some information, man. A little bit.
Okay, so what's the name? What's the name of the girl who was in Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp, and she's in all the other ones?
Helena Bonham Carter, it's his wife.
Yeah, that's probably who I meant. I'd have to look her up to see if that's what I'm talking about.
It is. If it's the main girl from Sweeney Todd, it's Helena Bonham Carter, and it's his wife.
Yeah, that one.
Of
I was
course
going to
she's
mention
in it.
she was
She's
going to be in
all
this
of his
movie.
movies.
I'm not good with names, and I'm not sorry.
You're a failure.
Like, I was sorry like 30 episodes ago.
Now, not sorry.
Zero fucks.
All right, what else?
All
do you
right.
got for
All
us?
the fucks have flown out the window,
So
apparently.
this one, you guys are probably not going to know who the fuck I'm talking about because I barely know who the fuck I'm talking about. But
Are you gonna get their name even accurate so we have
Yeah.
a potential chance of getting it right?
Angie Stone, she's a singer. She was arrested for knocking out her daughter's teeth.
Not to be confused with Emma Stone, I'm assuming.
And I'm not done. She didn't just knock them out. She knocked them out with a fucking metal pole.
So, what did you do? Walk up with a pole and just go, "Ugh!"
Something like that. So she's claiming self-defense, right? She's claiming self-defense. She's saying her daughter punched her first. No, hold on. It's an adult daughter. The argument.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking like a 6.
Yeah, right. That was my first thought too. Like, did she just go up to like a 6-year-old was like, pow.
I'm just imagining like self-defense against a 6-year-old. It's like she's just like, ah, and the chick's like, oh god, god, kind of thing. Like just some sort of zombie flick,
Yeah. So no. So apparently, Angie was telling her daughter that she's mistreating her kids or just not taking care of them properly. The daughter got mad, punched her, so she like escalated that shit and hit her in the face with a metal pole. Wow. So yeah, good times.
Right on.
So also kind of an unknown, but I figured he should get a little bit of attention. Wendell Middlebrook just died. He was the
Right.
the Miller
Yeah.
High Life delivery guy. Like he did other little bit parts here and there, and some voice acting, but he's mostly just known for the Miller High delivery guy. And I thought he should get a highlight because it's not always these big people that die. Well, he was kind of big, but you know what I mean. Famous,
You dick about it, bro.
extremely famous. But yeah,
I know what you meant,
so
but we're still gonna make fun of you anyways.
fair enough. All right, so that's up for E-News. Did any of you guys actually check out the new Daredevil trailer?
I did.
Not even a little.
Not even a little.
So
I don't do trailers
Before
unless
I-
they're sent to me.
before I don't deem myself.
I don't look up trailers. I just generally don't care. Like it's just
You'll see it when it comes out.
maybe.
Well, it's on Netflix, so hopefully.
Well,
But-
in which case, yeah,
so
I'll probably
before-
check it out.
before
But
I
okay,
give
tell me
you-
about this trailer.
Before I give you my opinion, Devin, what did you think of the trailer?
It looks really good. No, I mean honestly,
Great.
like it looks
Awesome.
really solid. It looks like a really solid Daredevil movie or show. I'm glad it's happening. I like all the people involved. The guy playing Kingpin is great. The black costume is a little jankety looking, but they already said like no, that's just his like I'm trying things out costume. He's going to get the red suit. It's gonna happen. Just relax. So like there's really nothing to hate at this point. It looks great.
I'm actually kind of glad they didn't just bust out the costumes so far, because if they're honest to God gonna build him up, and if it's a show versus a movie where you kind of have to move along, I think it's great.
That is kind of a good idea. I like that thematically.
They're still definitely playing up the very like grittiness of it, but I'm kind of enjoying it. I think that out of any of them, like Batman and Daredevil are definitely stuff that can be a little bit darker, right? Doesn't have to be completely dark, but especially Daredevil fucking dealing with Hell's Kitchen and all that. And I don't mean Gordon Ramsay, but
It's fucking a whole season of a guy in a suit beating the shit out of Gordon Ramsay. Like, are you sorry? Are you sorry?
no, it's
And then,
not
of course,
even that.
Ramsey saying something snide and douchey back.
Yeah, he's just like, you donkey. And Daredevil's like, whoa, because he hates donkeys.
Well,
So he
I
doesn't
thought
like
you
ass.
were
Got
actually
it.
gonna make a donkey noise, like he's sitting there just taunting fucking Rams, like, yeah,
I want to see that movie.
yeah, right. So I like it. It looks good, much better than the teaser in the sense that you get a little bit more scope of what the show's gonna be like. I did think it was very kind of like cliche to have the bad guy in the car taunting the good guy, but it is what it is. Check out the trailer. It looks like it's going to be a good show, and I like how Netflix goes, we made it all. Here, just watch it. Go. You don't have to wait.
The cool
Just
things
watch it.
about this distribution on those things, like it just lets you enjoy it in whatever bingey amount you want.
Yeah.
I mean, because nowadays it's pretty much how a lot of people enjoy their shows. They just binge watch it after the season comes out. I mean, most of the people I know are like that. So why not have a release schedule like that? Because then the show's over and everybody can go like, "Oh my god, we're gonna talk about that season," and actually have the whole season there. I mean, I like the idea of having the time between them as well. I like that build up, but I think it takes a special kind of show for that to be worth doing.
I think time in between seasons is great. I
I don't mean between seasons. I mean between episodes.
like even now I binge on. I won't watch a new show many times because I'm just like, I don't fucking want to wait. I just want to sit down for a good 5 hours and just knock this shit out, right, or more.
Yeah.
If I had the time to do that, I probably would too. But nowadays, it's easier for me to watch over time.
Fair enough. So that was out of the news. That's kind of the highlight. The Daredevil trailer was pretty nice. Now something that makes me really really sad.
Well, hold on. If while we're still doing like movie TV news, did either of you guys hear the big news out of I mean, I guess you can say it's out of Firefly, but it's really just out of Indiegogo.
No.
So, two of the guys from Firefly, Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion, so Wash and Malcolm Reynolds,
Yep.
came out on Indiegogo today and were like, hey, we wrote this new show. We want to kickstart it. We want to Indiegogo it. So, I'm trying to find like a... I guess this will have to work. I saw a poster, but I can't find the poster for it now, so whatever. But yeah, Alan Tudyk wrote, I think directed, and is going to star in it, and then Nathan Fillion is co-starring, and it's basically a show about a guy who was on a sci-fi show where he played the pilot, and the show got canceled while it was still really young and built up this cult following.
I kind of like this. It sounds great.
Yeah, it's not bitter or anything.
So wait,
Not
is
even
this
a little bit.
Is this just like an autobiography?
So here's the
Agraphy?
difference is, in this case, there they are, aren't they adorable? In this case, Nathan Fillion's career goes on and he becomes this huge megastar, and everybody else from the cast totally washes out. So Alan Tudyk's character just starts going on the convention circuit, which is why it's going to be called Con Man. And they kind of tell you in the Indiegogo trailer that this show is kind of built out of all the weird shit that happened while going to conventions. But they're like, the funny / weird thing is, it's not the people attending who are weird. They're like, honestly, you guys are great. You're just fans of a thing, and you can come together as a community and support these things and love these things, and that's good. He goes, the freaks are the people running the show. And Nathan Fillion's like, yeah, there was this security guard who was so afraid of how people thought of him. he just kept talking to them about how, people thought of him during it. They called him the
Wait.
insecurity guard. They didn't go into
nice.
detail on it.
Hold
but
on. Did they hire our one large friend? Because that sounds like our one large friend.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. There's a little enlarged photo thing on my photo. I just pulled it off of a website, guys. I'm just showing an image, so fuck you. Or the other example.
Enhance.
Was, they were taking portraits, but the guy who was taking the portrait kept getting finger cramps, and so they'd have to stop so he could go soak his finger in an ice bucket full of water.
What?
So it's all things like that. This dude who's just hitting the convention circuit and dealing with this weird shit. So they're doing it on Indiegogo. It's the first day it's out. It's already funded. It's already hit its first 3 or 4 stretch goals. But it's going to be 4.
I'm not surprised at all.
It's going to be, so far, it's going to be 4 10-minute episodes that release on Vimeo. And for Kickstarting, you get early access and some commentary, some posters, some t-shirts. What I really want to do, and this will prove that people love me, this is never going to happen. If I can get $10,000 and donate it, I get to meet Alan Tudyk.
Or
So what you're saying is we need to raise $10,000.
And then we all get to have dinner with Alan Tudyk.
You can be in the background of one of the filming.
You can
For
be in the
$1,000,
show.
you can be in the background. I did see that tier.
I kind of looked at my bank account and I was like, I'd be poor. But I could get $10,000. This would not be difficult. I could for sure make it happen.
And then we could write the show about you robbing banks to meet Alan Tudyk.
I love it. Actually, we should do a short show like that. It's about a guy who has to rob banks so that he can go see somebody he really wants to see.
Yeah, we'll get right on that.
It'll be great. Come on. I think we can do a great job.
Well, the
But
problem
yeah,
is
so
that
that's
it wanted
out
to be
there,
a document.
and people should support it because I would love to see the
great.
show. I absolutely love Alan Tudyk. He is awesome in everything he's in. Nathan Fillion's hysterical. They also confirmed. I forgot this part. Seth Green, Felicia Day, James Gunn, who directed Guardians of the Galaxy, and I forget her name, and I feel like a dick, but she played Zoe in Firefly. It was Wash's wife.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember her name either.
Her first name's Jada. I don't know her last name, but she's going to be in the show as well.
So basically, it's going to be a great show, and we should.
It sounds like it's going to be a great show. I'm just happy Felicia Day's in it.
Do you have a hard on?
That's all I'm going to say. Huh?
You have a hard on for Felicia Day, I take it?
There are some things I'm not willing to admit here on the live stream.
So yes.
Or any time that's going to be recorded. But yeah, so no, actually, I did have a little bit more of a TV news. I just kind of wanted to move away of the very quick, stuff. I want to talk about a little bit more in depth. So, did you hear what's happening with the Ghostbusters?
No.
TV?
What more shit that we need from Ghostbusters? Okay, what is it?
No, it is partially TV. So,
Is it?
yeah, so Ghostbusters, Sony has now said that they are putting a brain trust together to make Ghostbusters a franchise. They want additional movies, they want TV shows, they just want all this other tie-ins. They want to create a universe for Ghostbusters. Here's the tricky bit though. So they're already doing the reboot with the all-female cast. That's still happening. But there's already talks about an additional all-male cast, and they even have Channing Tatum starring, and I believe he's also signed on as a producer. Which, you know what, he's good with comedy. I've seen him do it. He can do action really well. Great. I just don't think that they should just decide that this is now going to be a franchise, because it's the same thing that they did with Spider-Man. Like a couple years back, Sony did the same thing and was like, "Oh, we've got this group together to come up for a way to make Spider-Man a franchise," and that's where they came out with the Sinister Six, trying to talk about
flop that movie.
And talking about an Aunt May standalone kind of deal. And apparently these ideas came to light a lot more recent, but they've been kind of in the pipeline for a while. And I'm just afraid, because I personally am a huge fan of Ghostbusters. It's all nostalgia based and all that. Plus, the original movie I thought was great. But I'll tell you, I just kickstarted a Ghostbusters board game on last couple days on Kickstarter. They looked really cool, and I'm hoping to actually play with you guys on a stream. But the point is that I'm a fan. It's just I feel like they're gonna fuck this up so bad. Like, Why are you guys waving your arms at me?
No, keep going.
What? I'm sorry. Was I fondling things here a little too much for you?
You just really want to play with people.
I was just practicing. Oh, I was rolling dice.
Yeah,
But anyways,
and so all I had to say was,
full mast. All right, good. So I know, Devin, you're not really into the whole Ghostbusters lore. Did you ever watch the cartoon?
No.
I've watched like an episode.
Oh wow! So I guess
I'm not a Ghostbusters guy. I'm just.
I
I'm
mean,
the
I
only
enjoyed
one,
the
man.
movie, but like,
No, I
or
didn't even
I
do
guess
that.
movies, but it was never something I got super into.
I mean, are you even interested in watching a new TV show or a new?
Depends on if it sucks. Like, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's good, it's good.
You know,
I'll enjoy anything that's good.
Just like any project, I'll judge it by what I see coming out. Like let's bring it back to something I always rant about, the WB films. I'm going to see them. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to be good, and I talk a lot about how I don't think they're going to be good, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to go check it out. And I always say I could be wrong. It could be fucking phenomenal. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be good. Ghostbusters with an all-female cast? Sure. I don't like the lore as much as everybody else, so I think I'm a little more open to the idea. I'll see the movie. If I see a trailer and the trailer doesn't look like ass, I'll check it out. I'm not overly fond of the cast. Bridesmaids was okay. It could be a good movie. I don't know.
Right.
I gotta see more than this. And do I mind them making a franchise? Well, Ghostbusters was already a franchise. When I was really little, my parents got us the full Ghostbusters gear toys. Like, we had the suits and the traps and the guns and the packs.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
there were cartoons, there were movies, there were, like Ghostbusters was
I'm
already
so
a
jealous of
franchise.
you right now. I got a cabana stick.
So, but to be fair, though, Devin, like, I mean, he's right, though, about what they did with Spider-Man. Like,
No,
that's just...
I'm not saying they didn't fuck it up once before, and in all likelihood, yes, they're probably going to fuck it up again, but to be the, I don't know, voice of reason or whatever you want to call it on this one, it could be good.
I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not going to check it out, because it's not one of those movies
Do you think Sony's just doing this for the sake of doing it? Like, because they want to have a franchise?
They don't have one right now.
No, they absolutely don't. I mean, they lost Spider-Man to Marvel.
Well,
Bond is like half somebody else's now. I forget who does it. I think is it MGM?
I hate
Does
Bond.
the
I hate modern Bond. Let me
the Bond
rephrase-
stuff. So
rephrase
yeah,
Bond.
so I think they just want a franchise to try and hold on to. But like, I think they're choking the
You know what
life
they
out
could
of
do?
these.
they could make something new.
Yes.
Who would have thought of
God,
that?
I wish
Well, let's just
they
make
would.
something great and new
I
and make
really
a
wish
franchise
they
out of
would.
that. Like, I just
honest to
understand why
God.
that's the last thing people go to. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, we have to take everything from the old. It's like, no, stop it. I'd like to see something new out of any studio right now.
Yeah, really, honestly, but again, this is one where it's fine to me because I'm not tied to the lore. Honestly, I really don't like the original, so maybe this will be my chance to enjoy Ghostbusters. I'll be that guy who's like, the new one's way better, and everybody's gonna hate me, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I would rather see something new come out of it.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
just form a little
agreed.
cult or whatever of just people that hate us. Or I should say that everybody hates us. And we'll have like little meetings with cake and pie.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Ooh, I do like pie.
see me went the other way on that. Oh, us. Moving on. What do you got?
That's pretty much what I got. What are you guys bringing to the table? So
You
much
want to
pressure.
get something out there, Devin, before I start on my stuff?
It's not a thing. I just hate it.
Damn it.
Ah, God.
Stop
Hold
being a
on, let me...
bitch and actually talk about the things that you talk to me about occasionally. It's the whole point of this.
Oh wait,
I
is this,
hate it.
is this?
That's a
Are we
good
gonna
reason
be-
to talk about it.
Are we
Is
gonna
this
be
what?
privy to Pillow Talk?
What? No.
No, we did that last.
Mucho sexy.
Ooh.
Trying to find a good image for him right now. This will probably work, I guess. So they released the new MacBook, which is totally not the MacBook Air.
Oh
They
god.
released
don't
the
get me
totally not the MacBook Air is what it's called. And it's just, honestly, it's a fucking glorified iPad, and I think it's a piece of shit, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Well, I mean, but why though? Like,
you know
why?
what?
So the thing only has one port on it. Just,
No, when you say port, you mean like USB, or do you mean like headphone or anything?
yes.
So like
So-
you got the charging cable, and
No.
then you have to take
No.
that out, plug something else in.
Yes, you have the one. It's one USB-C end. That is your
No.
charger, that is
No,
your
hold on.
adapter, that is your everything.
There's one USB port and one headphone jack on the other side.
Oh, whoop-de fucking shit.
No, just to be specific, just to make sure that
that's
the
why I'm
facts are
asking. So if
correct.
there's literally one port for all of your peripherals, it's already bad.
Yeah, no,
it's-
it honestly, like, that's not what I think is the killer that makes it bad. What makes it bad is because it's one port, you're forcing peripherals. You have to have them. How do you hook it up to an external monitor? How do you get a fucking flash drive in there? Their excuse is, oh, everything's wireless, man. It's all wireless. Here's my fear is I know some C-level executive at my company's going to get one, and then they're going to be mad that they go to a client site or something and can't connect it to the fucking projector. And I'm going to have to go, yeah, dude, not everybody owns a projector that's capable of that. They don't. They're over preparing for something that isn't here yet, and it's just kind of asinine. Not to mention they removed right clicking. They're going to be killing any software that's before Yukon. If you're using anything from before Yukon,
Yosemite?
or yeah, what the fuck ever. I'm on Lion because Lion was the last good one they made.
Fair enough.
Point is that they're not doing any kind of backwards compatibility at all.
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
killing
like
it.
Wow.
I feel like an iPad took advantage of a MacBook Air, and this was the hideous, unloved child.
No, what happened was the Surface. The fucking Windows Surface came out, and honestly, it's a pretty sweet little rig. Like, I would never use it because it doesn't do shit for me, but for all, like, the little engineer dudes who just want to be able to pull something that they can type up notes on and do email on when they're in a conference room, yeah, dude, it's kind of great for them. It's the best version of the iPad, because it's not a touchpad, it's a fucking thing with a keyboard. So this is them trying to one-up that. It's one solid body. The thing weighs like a pound or some crazy shit like that.
In other words, you're gonna jump and it'll explode.
It's like a it's like an iPad in the sense it never heats up either. The fucking whole card on the thing is this big. This is it. This is the entirety
What kind
of
of
the inside
computing
of the computer.
power are we talking about here?
Their biggest package does like an i5, I think. I don't think it hits the 7. And the most you can get is 8 gig of RAM as far as I saw. It might go to 16, but I didn't see a 32 gig option.
And then what is it? A onboard video that goes through the CPU?
So, did you guys check
Terrible, I
out?
guess.
Did you guys check out Asus basically fired back already? So
No.
Asus already fired back with pictures of their ZenBook, the UX305. That is, so the new MacBook is 13.1 millimeters. The
Okay.
Asus UX305 is 12.3 and still has USBs on it.
That's funny.
But what is anybody using these fucking things for? You already have a phone that does email, and how hard does it take a note by going, nye, 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 nye? Why do you need a whole, it's got a bigger, what? What is it about the fucking thing? I don't understand tablets. I don't get it.
It's not a tablet; it's a full computer.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
The ZenBook, I mean.
What's the power behind it? Is it gonna run anything that isn't email and fucking surfing the web?
I think it's just as strong, if not stronger, than the new MacBook.
Which is pretty much strong enough to run the web and email.
Yeah, it won't run a lot of gaming stuff, and that's exactly what he's getting at. I mean, I don't know. I can see value in a tablet if you don't have any kind of other thing and you just want to have
if that's your only
stuff.
thing, like you don't have a smartphone, like you know, like I can't afford a smartphone, I got a tablet for Christmas, cool. But I see all these people with a smartphone and a tablet and a laptop on them, and I'm like,
Yeah, what's the point?
What are you? And now they all want the
Right.
fucking Apple Watch, and I'm like, oh, because you need to fucking look at your wrist and have conversations out loud with your fucking wrist all day when you can already do it on your phone and your iPad and your laptop.
Right. I mean, my thing is, like, I've considered, because I want to get another mobile, like, computing device, and I've considered between a tablet or a laptop, and tablets have a couple of benefits that a laptop wouldn't, but overall I'm considering a laptop just because I think that they're better overall as devices. They're more to my style anyways. But even so, that being said, if I didn't have a laptop at all, I might consider an iPad or something like that, because, you know, it's mobile computing that can have some good stuff for it. But I mean, ultimately, yeah, you're right. Like, most of these things are used for just surfing the web, etc. So what's the point? You've already got that on your phone. It really is that. That's very much true.
I was telling some people at work about this, and they were like, well, what about your laptop? I'm sure you have some fancy thing. I'm like, no, I carry a MacBook Pro from fucking 2011. It weighs like 8 pounds, and I'm not going to bitch about the weight because 26, and if something's too heavy, I'll do some goddamn push-ups.
Right.
That's another one I get all the time. My shit's too heavy. Fucking lift weights, bitch. It's 5
Right.
pounds.
Spend a few minutes at the gym a
heaviest
day.
laptop I give out at work is 5 pounds. It's 5 pounds. And they're all like, I got this 1,000,000-pound thing from the Stone
Dude,
Age. It's
My
5
my
pounds.
laptop is like a fucking brick of ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
like probably 11 to
Mine
12
isn't in here.
pounds.
No, my Mac isn't in here. But seriously, it's a 15-inch MacBook Pro from 2011. It's a beast of a machine. But it runs shit. I can run Civ 5 on that bitch.
Yeah, why can't we? I mean, that's exactly.
I like that
It
that's
should
the
be some
benchmark.
power.
I'm just like, Civ 5 isn't fucking, BitTrip Runner.
Fifth Flyer has a great comment here. Use the device as a weight.
Right?
You know,
It's
like
fucking
if
in
5
your
pounds is too
hotel
heavy,
room,
just start
lift
doing
that
some
shit.
fucking full lifts.
And it's funny because everybody always tells me, because I get the same thing. It's like, oh, it's too heavy. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? They're like, oh, well, when you travel around, it's really heavy. I'm like, are you traveling by foot, by buggy, by horse? Is the horse getting injured? What's going on? To what's
Well,
weight?
so that's the thing. Like, I tend to walk around a lot if I go and travel, right? So having a lighter device is kind of useful for me because of that fact. But even so, I've walked around with like, a good 20 pounds of shit in a bag or more and been like, whatever, I'm going to keep walking. Because,
All right,
you know what?
anyone who's ever
What's
been
wrong
to
with
any
that?
sort of con, just from the swag you get, even if it's just the fucking flyers,
Yep.
that shit gets heavy too. So
Yeah.
you can't even the fucking.
I walked around Comic-Con all day because I was an idiot. I bought 4 or 5 long boxes of Magic cards as my
I
first
remember
stop
that.
for the day. And I mean, seriously, like every 5 minutes I was like, I have to stop and put this shit down. I cannot carry these things.
Well, you know what? The Comic-Con like art book that they give you when you just get your swag bag is heavier than most of the fucking computers we give out.
Oh yeah. Oh
That
yeah. Easy.
fucker is thick.
And you carry
yeah,
that thing all day for
exactly.
like
So
5
I don't
days.
want to fucking hear it.
Right now, it's
It-
listen to IT guys bitch the fucking.
Bitch about
podcast.
IT bullshit.
No,
yeah.
no. It goes back to it. Like the new MacBook. The worst part, my problem is, they touted Thunderbolt. They touted Thunderbolt. They touted
Yes,
Thunderbolt.
we all just bought all the Thunderbolt adapters.
And all of a sudden, they're like, well, we're not really using that anymore. And there really isn't an adapter. And have you seen how much the current USB-C adapter is?
No.
$79.
Holy.
For how large?
$79, and all you get is another USB-C because, you still need to charge. You get an HDMI and one USB port. And it's a little piece of fucking shit plastic.
Wait, you
because
still
we've
can't
all...
get an Ethernet one?
No, they don't make it yet. They don't make a proprietary
See,
Ethernet one.
that is the primary reason why I am thinking laptop over a tablet any day. I want to be able to plug my goddamn laptop into a
Yes.
and that's the reason why like
Always.
tablets is
But
like
for
most
me,
often.
I can't fucking believe that they're like, oh, these dongles that you've been using for years that fucking break all the time? You know what we thought? They're $30 now. You know what we think? We think you should pay more for this shit that'll last you 6 months. Yeah, this is gonna be fucking $79. Eat a dick. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? And they're forcing you to use it, right? Before it was like, oh, well, you can do certain things. Like, you still have Wi-Fi and all that. And I told someone, I was like, this is ridiculous. They're like, well, that's what people said when they got rid of the CD-ROM. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I still have to go fucking get an external CD-ROM, plug it in when I'm doing shit because there's still companies that refuse to fucking either let you
Go
download
digital,
the
yeah.
software or fucking
Oh,
USB.
yeah, actually,
does it.
so
our finance
even-
department is like, oh, we keep all of our records on disk. Why?
Well,
Sorry,
so
I
there
just-
are benefits for having a electronic device that you keep storage on. That makes sense to me.
But the disk is not the answer to that. Discs are so shitty. Disc gets scratched all the time, and then you're fucked.
I mean, yeah, but this is why you use redundancies. I'm just saying.
It's
That's a
not-
decent
no, no.
redundancy.
The primary only copy.
Right, don't do that.
Disc.
No, you don't
Yeah,
do
that's
that. That's
pretty
a
retarded.
backup you stick in a fucking cabinet that you don't open ever. Like it's that's your hard copy that is your like super backup.
Yeah, they don't.
You know?
So it just sounds like they're trying to
Right.
do another paradigm shift and trying
So
to be
let-
fucking Apple about it.
So let's actually talking about paradigm shifts a little bit here. I'm actually really excited to speak about this bit.
Segway!
Exactly, dude. I did the fucking segue. That was good there. But Valve has admitted as of yesterday that they need to communicate more with their fans. Like, so they admitted out loud that they're like, you know what, guys? We understand that we we haven't been communicating as much as we should be. In fact, I think I'm going to pull up a quote that I kind of like here. And I quote from this article I have. In our model, we always thought customers would think they'd get the most value out of a person delivering new features to them. Sorry, that person, referring to the developers. But there definitely does seem to be something where we need to be doing a better job of walking people through what we're doing. There is something we're missing, and we need to spend time explaining things to users. The point being that they've been so black box for the last few years that a lot of people are a little disgruntled about it. They're like, I don't know about this kind of thing, and it's nice to see that they're thinking about changing that paradigm.
In what sense are we talking about? Is it people just pissed off that they haven't announced Half-Life 3? Because, I mean, come on.
When's the last time they made it, aside from the very brand new HTC stuff and the Steam box, and even that's been kind of in the dark, how much have they really given you in terms of what they're doing over the last few years?
With what? I mean, they're always fucking telling me about shit
games,
on Steam.
Hardware, whatever, period.
Every time there's a Steam sale, they send me an email. I don't understand.
No, not sales. Steam sales don't count. They're not doing those.
Like with the stuff they're developing.
Yeah,
not the
Valve as a company, not Steam as a platform. Valve as a company. When's the last time you heard something that was not the new stuff I talked about last week?
So they've talked a lot about their SteamOS. They've talked a lot about Big Picture.
Not as much as they could be.
Well, yeah, but that's all relative, right?
So again, my point is they tend to be a really big black box. They didn't talk anything about their Dota stuff and the changes they've done. They haven't talked at all about anything in their other IPs and stuff. They haven't talked about a lot of their side of their stuff. The only thing that came out is, like I said, more recently, they finally gave us the official Steam controller. They talked a little bit about the Steam boxes finally, and they gave us their virtual reality stuff. Besides that, they talked very little about it.
Let me play devil's advocate here. But at least it's not like Molyneux where he talks too much and overpromises and this other shit, right?
I will agree there. But the thing is that Valve is the opposite side of that in a bad way, in my opinion. And it's nice to hear that they're thinking about, maybe we should talk a little bit more about what we're doing. Like, a good example of a little middle ground is Blizzard over the last couple of years has been pretty big about talking about their new stuff. They made a big announcement with a new IP. Yeah, it's mostly done, but they've been a little bit more open about their software development stuff. They're the Legacy of the Void. They had a bunch of stuff at their BlizzCon. They've talked a bit intermittently between that and now. They talked a lot about the Hearthstone development and stuff. They've brought up things, and they've over the course of years have been talking about their things a bit. Maybe it's not until it's close to being done, but at least there's stuff coming out of them. Whereas I feel like Valve has been a pretty big black box for a while. When it comes to just amount of information about what's going on in their stuff.
Yeah, I just thought they weren't really developing anything except possibly Half-Life 3.
I honestly don't think they're developing Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, if they're not going to make any release of information about it at all, they're probably not talking about it. They've been teasing the shit out of their fan base, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's in development much. They finally released or talked about their Source 2 engine, again, something that they've had basically on the board for, months now through Dota 2. They finally decided, okay, we'll talk about it. Why? Why wait? Why not just tell us when you actually developed this thing and started to try and, implement it?
So you think they care more about the retail operation than they do as a studio?
Well, no, they just don't have a marketing department. Literally, they don't have one. That's the whole point of this. They're like, we don't have a marketing department. We want our developers to be that marketing department. It's just not working. So they're changing that. That's the whole point. They're trying to change the design of that. It might cost them some more money, but they feel it's something needed. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that they're getting a marketing department.
I think that's what they're saying. Yeah.
So I should tell my fiance so I can get free stuff when she works there.
Where's Valve located out of?
They have an SF office.
Seattle?
They have a Seattle major office. Right? I actually applied for their IT team. I applied for their IT team not long ago, as a network administrator, and they said, "Yeah, we don't have room for that
I'll
right
get them
now."
coffee.
Oh, dude, I'll do anything for Valve at this point. I love that company, but
whatever. I just want to be there.
Yeah.
Right. But the point is, it's a cool thing to hear.
I smelled Gabe this morning. It smelled like success.
Oh man.
It smelled like Black Box Projects.
That's good.
Well,
but still, I'm just excited to hear some news coming out of them a little bit more because they really have been lackluster on that department. And it's good to see the company saying, yeah, you know what? We have sucked here. We're going to try and step it up. And that's cool to me. I like the company willing to admit that out loud. It's good to me.
Fair enough. I accept it. I accept your premise and you as a human being.
Maybe I'm just not a huge fan of Valve, where I really just didn't notice. I just thought they weren't really doing shit.
Well, I just thought they were hanging around.
That's kind of my point. Like, they've been doing stuff,
the
but they're not
success
talking.
it is, and them working on like the hardware stuff. I thought they had just moved on to different ventures, and they weren't really making games anymore.
Well, the point is, it's not just games; it's everything. Like, the development teams just don't have marketing departments, and that's what they're trying to fix. And I like that. That's a good thing.
Okay.
Other cool news about game-related things that came out. So Blizzard actually announced at PAX East, they announced 2 new characters for their game Overwatch. And I'm actually kind of happy to see these characters as well.
Has the beta for that started yet?
No.
No, I don't think the beta is actually officially
Pretty excited to get on that.
They have done closed testing with, or closed beta for people who are at their events. So I'm sure it's been at PAX. I'm sure it was, or I know it was at BlizzCon. They might be putting it at those kind of events, but the actual official closed or open or any kind of beta hasn't really happened now. But I'm really excited to see these characters, because especially one in particular, which is the oh God, what is it called? I actually have this article up here. She's a big, like, heavy weapons guy kind of character, but it's a chick, which I think is just really cool to see.
Yeah, the bodybuilder.
Yeah,
she's a tank. Is what she is.
She's a tank. She's a tanky female frontline kind of character, and I like that a lot. Like, you don't see that kind of character very often in games, and it's cool to see it. And she looks fun too. Like, I mean,
yeah, I was actually in the car. I was like, I could play that character. That's kind of dope.
And the other character's like a cowboy-esque, like, I guess I call him like a gunslinger. I think his name is the Gunslinger. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that, kind of generic in that regard. But that's also kind of cool because everything else has been really like sci-fi looking almost, you know. So it's kind of cool to see a little bit of branching from that with him.
I got a thing of him too.
It kind of reminds me of the Clone Wars, the animated one of the bounty hunters.
Oh yeah, that dude. I've seen him.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of. I probably would never play him because it sounds like it's a lot of pistols, and I prefer like rifle stuff.
Yeah, he looks like a kind of squishy fast character, which isn't my favorite.
Well, so remember this game besides being this game besides being a first-person shooter game and team-based, it's also like hero-based, a lot more like something such as a large strategy game like Heroes of the Storm or a Dota game where it's like ability-based, that kind of thing. So, I mean, his abilities might make up for the fact that he's using pistols. You might actually like him. I don't know.
I saw his moveset because they have the videos up of his gameplay. Like I watched. I wasn't interested.
Right.
The impression I got is that it was like Unreal but on roids.
I really doubt it's that fast-paced. I mean, it might be, but I don't think it's that fast-paced. That would be kind of a silly thing because the arena shooters haven't exactly been super successful recently. They've existed, but they haven't been super successful.
Okay.
But I'm just this is what
unless you wear hats.
They're just talking about stuff they're producing, right? The last announcement that I know of from this was probably last time I heard anything was BlizzCon, but I also haven't been following their things. But the point is that's still more than I've seen from Valve. So it's kind of this other side of this, like I was saying. And I just think it's cool to see these new characters because I would love to play that chick. Like that sounds super fun. I love being the tanky character, and why not have a female for that? You know?
So. Did they talk about why they created the character?
I didn't see anything, but I also didn't delve too deeply into it.
They had said at one point, I don't remember where they said it, but at one point they were like, look, this game, we're not just going to focus on hot chicks and buff dudes. They said they were just going to build characters.
They're open to make a more diverse cast, which is just really cool. I like that so much because you know what? There's been a lot of problems with this, and I will say that does go in line with a lot of what they announced at the beginning of the BlizzCon event. There's this really cool keynote speech at the very beginning of the whole event where the CEO or whatever, he got up on stage and talked about how he wanted to see a more inclusive internet and more inclusive games, and he really kind of made a comment related to all the bullshit with Gamergate and all that crap that happened directly, and this goes in line with that, which is really cool to see, like a big company taking some steps just to say we're going to make people that are more than just a two-dimensional thing, and that to me is exciting.
That's really cool. As long as it's a legitimate character and it's playable and it's not just shit. That way. Because I really hate pandering as well.
And this doesn't feel like pandering to me at all.
Yeah, I actually have high hopes for the character because it is good that they're including this kind of just body type on a female character and whatnot.
Right. I like the design a lot. In fact, I really enjoy that design, and not just because it's different, because it's its own thing. It's a real kind of person you might see. You know?
And it's just outside of the box too, right?
And it's good time for that kind of thing too, because like I mean, the first thing I thought of, and I don't mean this to sound like really offensive or anything, but first thing I thought is like, oh, this character could easily be homosexual. Like I looked at it as like this could be the kind of character who's a really aggressive kind of female, and that's not a bad thing at all. Like I was excited to see that because you don't see it often,
Not to say that aggressive females can't be straight.
Right.
Well,
No, that's what I was trying to point out. What?
No,
Well, that's what I was trying to say when I preambled that. I was like, I'm not trying to say that's the only thing with a stereotype or anything, but that's the first thing that popped in my head because it's an image that you see with that kind of stuff, and I'm just happy to see that that's not something that they're adverse to showing off. Like they're not bowing down to this. Oh, we can't make these characters because it could be threatening to a dude, for example, like in the stupidness of all the crap that people say, like oh my god, it's a big strong female character, rah, like. That's the kind of crap we've been hearing from the internet for a while now, and to see them not worry about that is really cool. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So I don't know. I'm excited.
I didn't think that was a thing, like being threatened by a character that is animated. I don't understand that.
I don't either, but it's been a big deal. Like it's a major part of why
people always claim that, right? But I've never looked at Sonic and was like, man, that guy makes me feel slow. It's fucking weird.
No, I mean I agree with you, but we're also relatively secure dudes. Let's face it.
Okay, fair enough. Like, also, I look at Conan and I'm like, cool, dude, you're really buff. I couldn't be that, but that's
I'm actually
cool.
turned off by that crap. Like I go, too much. Like I don't like that style either. But my point is that for
freaking gay.
Right. No, my point has been made. Basically, they're not worried about any backlash from people who have these issues. And they do exist, and they have been very vocal in the last few months. Like, they really have. We've talked a lot about this on the cast. And it's just cool to see. I'm happy to see that a major company like Blizzard's like, fuck it, this character is what we want to do. And she's a big, tanky, fucking awesome chick with a giant gun. Have fun with that. And if you don't play her. We don't care. It's a character we made for our game. Yeah. Deal with it. I like that.
I feel like that's how the Tekken creators should have gone with the very stereotypical, almost
the Arabian character.
Not just that one, like the one the lollipop kind of girl.
Oh, the lollipop chick, yeah.
Yeah. I honestly think that's how they should have been. They're like, you don't like her, that's cool.
I agree, but
then this character isn't for you. We're not making it just for you. Play as something else. But yeah,
I mean, that's kind of the issue at hand, is that too many people take the development decisions of games and stuff too personally. Like, they try and make it into their game. It's my game kind of thing, and it's not. Like, whatever.
And I also think a lot of times they try to add a backstory to where there isn't one. Like, this character was created because misogyny and because all this other stuff, and I'm like, maybe it was just created because they went with a good character model.
Well, yeah, right. They had this random idea that they wanted to create, and that's what they went with. Whatever.
Yeah. It is what it is.
You got anything else for us, Eddie, or do you want me to move on to my next bit?
Oh, go on for your next bit.
All right.
Get on with your
So there's been a lot of comic book related TV shows that have been coming out. There's been a lot of push for that kind of thing, and I've been thinking a little bit about it. I'm just curious, about games that you'd love to see made into TV shows, not movies, but TV shows instead. Like, is there some video game series or franchise that you'd love to see as a TV show? And I'll go ahead and start first, give you guys a couple minutes to think about. The game that I came up with over the last week when I've been thinking about this actually was Darkest Dungeon. And the reasoning for it is that it could be a relatively easy to design show with a good gameplay loop, or show loop in this case. Your engine is solid. There's a dungeon that these people are exploring. But then you can go into the more dark and sinister side of that. The way that the game portrays, the concept of being terrified by the things that are in there can make for a really cool, horror-esque style TV show, and I'd love to see that really pushed forward, something like that, because we don't really have a lot of good shows like that,
I agree. I think that what would work for that is if they did an American Horror Story way, where every season is kind of standalone.
That's what I was thinking.
Or even an anthology show, right, where it's not the same characters, and it's just this fucking evil dungeon that they all have their own adventures in.
Because that's what makes it perfect, because the characters don't have to be consistent all the time. They can be different characters. You can kill them off a little bit more. You can really get into that stuff, and I think it'd be a pretty cool show to see fleshed out and made into something. So I would
definitely agree. Do I just have to pick one?
No, I mean, you've got a couple. Talk about them. I'm just curious what kind of games you guys think would make good TV shows.
So I honestly think that you could do a really good miniseries of Mass Effect.
I was
Knew
thinking
you were
Mass
gonna
Effect
say
as well,
that.
but honestly, I thought it would be the first thing that anybody would go to. So I'm like, I want to think outside the box a bit. So, not surprised, and with how much expanded universe there is in the Mass Effect series, I'm not surprised at all. There's a lot of content there. There's
Like,
a
you don't
huge-
even have to do the Shepard story. You could
No,
just
you
do
wouldn't-
something
you
else in
wouldn't
that
do episodes.
universe.
Right. There's
Like-
so
like-
much there.
I think it would be a Babylon 5-esque show, and I think it'd be great, right? Just because
One good example is doing the human Turian War, for example.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be the big Reaper story or anything like that. I'm really just talking about the universe that was built. And same thing, like I know they did a couple miniseries already, but like the Halo universe is great. One thing you could also do is fucking Far Cry. You make a Far Cry like every season is different.
Yes.
Every season is
guess.
different, right? You got the one guy stuck on this island and he has to survive, and it turns into kind of like a sort of
Too
like
close
a,
to Lost for me, though. Honestly.
well, I was actually about to say it was kind of like Lost, except less supernaturally. But yeah, so I think that would be great. What about you, Devin? What game do you want to see as a TV show?
This really heavily depends on if we are talking about adapting existing content into a cinematic format or making a show in the spirit of, in the universe of things like
Both.
that.
So I guess go with both, because I mean, honestly, so long as the core of it is still based off of the source material, I mean, I imagine that being worth doing.
Okay, so if you're gonna go off something where it's already an established story, I would say Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, I could see
It's
that.
an awesome story. Disney could do it well. You wouldn't have to push the bar on anything. It would actually be a really, really good show, honestly.
Yeah.
Live action or CG, I suppose it really doesn't matter. Darksiders would make a really good, more live-action-y drama series. You probably couldn't do it 100% true to the game, but
Right.
you could get pretty
There has to
close
be
to what was going on there. And you could actually take a little further, because we didn't get to see the other two brothers, because THQ died. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's probably a million other ones that, like...
There's a lot of good choices.
Yeah, that, just aren't jumping into my brain, first and foremost. I don't know, I could look at my Steam list.
No, you don't need to do that. I just...
A good one
Right.
is Castlevania.
Oh, that
Yeah,
actually
you could watch a Castlevania show.
I
could be
thought
really
that'd
good.
be fantastic. Castlevania is super easy to do. Well, not super easy, but you you can either do Monster of the Week or you can do overarching plot.
Another one that I was thinking, honestly, was the Ninja Gaiden series, specifically before they
Yeah.
switched over to the more recent series with like the real, basically the NES versions. Because the stories there were actually fairly solid. Like they weren't like really fleshed out, but they were relatively interesting, and I'd love to see some stuff like that. So
XCOM.
XCOM would make a pretty good show, but I think they'd have to do that one really well.
Yeah, XCOM would be.
Actually, I totally forgot. There's another reason why I was thinking Darkest Dungeon, because not only could you have that like anthology thing where you got these people, but then you talk about the person on the side of the town, the one that has to manage this place. It has all these people that he has to send out. Like, imagine like having the two-sided arc thing going on like that, where you got this person who's just like racked to his just fucking limits, trying to manage this concept of we have to destroy this thing before it takes over everything, and just all the people he has to pull in, the money he has to throw, like the way he's getting, like just all that management stuff could be really fun to see on like a more dramatized side of things, as a side arc, a B story.
What would work great also is one of those shows that resets at the end of every season. I know I'm kind of stuck on this, but like Final Fantasy.
No, so think about Final Fantasy. Like the reason why the best of them,
I hate
in
you.
my
They're gonna
opinion,
do that now.
my favorite movie of all of them was what was it, Spirits Within or whatever, the one that was just its own arc and its own thing back in the day.
Yeah.
It was a CG movie forever ago, way
Well,
better than
the
Children.
CGI does
my
not hold
problem
up.
with
It doesn't,
well,
but
Advent Children sucked because Final Fantasy 6 or 7 sucks. But the problem with Spirit Within was it was just kind of a shitty movie.
I thought it was great.
It was beautiful. It's like, well, it's actually a little worse than Avatar because at least
Right.
Avatar was mildly interesting. But like it was this really beautiful thing that was just, I don't know. I sat there as a kid like, what the fuck is this?
Have
Well,
you gone
I
and
mean,
rewatched
I
it?
followed it.
No,
I
that's
enjoyed
fair.
it,
I
so.
haven't actually gone back and rewatched it.
Okay, because I know the CGI doesn't hold up, but maybe
Right.
the story does. I haven't gone back. I
Yeah,
saw it
maybe.
back then, and I was like, man, this is really pretty. I have no idea what the fuck is going on, but man, this
Yeah.
is really pretty.
Right. I mean, I don't exactly have perfect recollection of anything from it, but I have fond memories of that one because you know what? I thought it was better than what they did later on. And to me, it's like it's because that series is so good at this is not always going to be connected directly. It's a concept that is being explored in different ways. You know, like
Yeah.
all the Final Fantasy games up until they finally decided to make X2 like some idiots were all separate stories. They were all separate things, and the worlds
Right.
weren't even the same. They just had the same basic structure.
Are you saying dress spheres were not a good idea?
I'm saying that X and X2 were awful. Period.
Did you actually play X2?
No.
Who the fuck would ever want to play X2?
So I played
it.
X2, and I played X2 because of Marcus. He had it. He was
had
really
to make you do it.
he was really into it, and
You
I
hate him for
played
that.
it. I never bought it, but I played it, and I was like, what is this? Their superpowers are driven by how they dress?
Well, I mean, I guess I can't really complain too much about the dress system, because really a dress system is a combination of Final Fantasy Tactics and a job system, and Final Fantasy IX, which is my favorite one, and the I don't remember what they called it, but it's like the equip system. You get powers based on which weapon you have equipped.
I really hate that system personally.
You just gotta keep hitting things with a weapon, man. You need a power, you go grind.
I don't like the idea of forcing me to use a specific weapon to get a thing. I don't like that at all.
Well, you know what you can do?
Play Final Fantasy
Right,
Tactics and really enjoy it.
As long as you don't fucking say 7. Because god damn it, that game sucks.
7 was okay, but
No, it
for none of the
wasn't.
reasons that people talk about. Like,
Game sucks.
Just-
God,
it was
the
okay.
Materia system is unusable.
I don't know if I call it unusable, but it wasn't all that spectacular
Unusable.
either.
The junction system is the most complex thing I have ever had the misfortune of dealing with, and I love that infinitely more than the Materia system.
I think I can agree there, but I mean, I think that we should just go back to the system that was the bestest, which is the job system from 5 and Tactics.
Yeah.
It just really is the best system. You have all these abilities
No,
you get as
no,
you play
dude,
these
it's all about
characters.
that junction system in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, fuck that. No, dude, job
It's-
system for the win.
The junk system, the junction system,
The junk system.
the junction system
Yeah.
can really pay off if you do it right. Like once you've mastered the junction system.
So was
oh
the
my
materia system,
God.
though. Like, when I got good at it, it was easy mode, and I got some
Garbage.
powerful
But the
superness.
junction system is actually really good.
You are just opinionated to the way that nobody can fucking break your stupid opinions. This just was like, you
No,
you were
well,
unwilling to change your
7 is
opinions.
just- 7 is purely because I don't get it. Everyone's like, this is the best, and I'm like, this is the worst one I've played. This is
It's
the worst
the
one.
worst main character and the worst main villain. I will agree.
It's the worst one.
You know, I honestly just thought they should have just fucked and gotten it over with.
Yeah, dude,
Right?
Sephiroth and Cloud needed to just go have a good time.
Naruto all over again. Fucking end of that episode, he's like, whoa! Fucking makes a clone and runs around and underneath.
Yeah.
He's fucking all over that bitch.
So, I do have one more thing I want to
Okay.
bring up here.
Okay.
All right, and so I'm gonna do something different.
Oh,
Yeah, think about it. No, so you know how most movie reviewers will go through and they're gonna tell you, oh, you know, the director's art style, and you know, this person did all these, you know, all these other movies, and a lot of the time I just want to know.
Yeah, movie reviews, so I have no idea.
Well, they do. They really go into the the cinematography and all that shit. And a lot of times they're like, "Well, this movie was terrible because of all this shit that seems kind of arbitrary." And they leave out like, "Was it a good movie in the sense like did you enjoy it? Did it have cool stuff?" So I kind of wanted to do a little segment that I'm calling Average Jose Movie Reviews.
You need to do it all in Spanish. You need to use your accent.
No, if it's in
Actually-
Spanish, I'm not going to know what's happening.
Oh my god!
I brought a hat.
You
Or a
can't
sombrero.
put it on your head, dude. I think you got a fat head.
I can do it. No, it's my headset.
Oh, okay.
All right. So.
What the fuck am I watching?
I don't even know if this is racist or not.
I had a mustache, but unfortunately, Google or Amazon decided not to deliver it. Yeah, this
You had a
headset-
mustache too? Jesus Christ! You're trying
Yeah,
to get us
I
banned
totally
from
did.
Twitch?
So, Average Jose
At
movie
least
review.
his, shirt, or
right?
his shirt's actually accurate.
Right. How awkward do I look right now with
Pretty bad.
that all
Continue.
racked up. But anyways, so the movie that I saw was Robo. Okay, all right. Now that I've set my people back like 30 years, so the movie that I saw was RoboCop, right? The new 2014 one.
Out?
The new 2014 one.
Oh, the 2014 one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I finally saw it, and yeah, it's an older movie, but I heard a lot of really bad things about it, and I think it's because people just compared it to the old one. So what I just kind of want to talk about is the shit that I thought was cool and the shit that worked, right? And also some of the shit that I disagree with. So, the big names were Michael Keaton, Gary Oldman. The other two were like
Michael Keaton's in this?
Yeah, Michael Keaton's in it. He plays the head of shit. Now you got me all fucked up. The evil corporation that actually creates RoboCop. It's not Oscorp. I almost said fucking Oscorp.
Let's mix our
let's totally mix our stuff here.
Universes.
But you know what? This setup makes me look like I have even less of a neck. This is weird.
You don't need a neck. That's why you're so short. So continue.
And no, I'm not going to do this whole thing in Spanish because none of you guys would understand.
Right, that would be awful. I was being, I was not being sincere in that regard. That was what I was looking for. Shut up.
So anyways, I watched RoboCop and I'm watching it and I'm like, I enjoyed this movie. Like the effects were great, the action was good. Like even some of the kind of shit that everybody was complaining about. Like I understand the first one was like satire on 80s tropes about action movies and all that, but that doesn't mean this movie had to be. They actually took the movie, they didn't necessarily make it dark or gritty because there are some very bright kind of things about it, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, yeah, if I compare it to what the original was supposed to be, sure, there's some issues, but like Michael Keaton did a great job of just being kind of like the cold-hearted businessman where in the beginning, like he acted like a legitimate CEO. He came out. The Gary Oldman character is like the doctor that makes it happen. He came up to him and he conned him into doing this, like saying, "Oh well, you're helping people, and we're gonna give you money for your other research and stuff like that." Very diplomatic, and then he just kind of progressed to a all-out bastard saying, "I don't care what you do, just do it." Kind of stuff.
I have to say, I think my favorite part about this is how you're trying to struggle to keep this fucking thing on your head while you bounce around talking.
That makes you racist, man.
Well, maybe you should actually have put it on.
I do have it on.
Okay.
But anyways, so yeah. So anyways, I like the movie. I like Keaton's character progression. Eventually, it was all for profit. He's like, look, this is going to ruin my company. Fucking do it. I don't care. The big issue I had too was kind of the ending was definitely unrealistic in the sense where Gary Oldman's character, the doctor, it's like he did all this really terrible shit. Yeah, he got pressure from his boss, but like his life was never in danger. And at the end, he just kind of like tails on them to the government and boom, all good. Doesn't matter. He gets off scot-free. That I had a problem with.
Let's be fair. Most movies end shitty, like, so,
Thank you. Everything is shit, and that makes it okay.
All shit like.
I said most movies end shitty, like.
Yeah. But anyways, I thought it was a great movie. If I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it, from 0 to Jennifer Lopez's ass, I'd give it 2 really nice greasy pork tacos.
All right.
And that's what Jose says.
Thanks, Jose.
Yeah, thanks, man. You should come back next time and give us some more ridiculous things.
Who should come back? What happened?
Oh, dude, you just missed this guy's name, Jose. He was actually really, he was good. I just, he was great. You got anything else for us, Devin?
Gracias.
You mean like hatred?
Yeah, sure. Spew your
do
hatred.
You hate my hat? I love my hat.
I hate that you didn't get the mustache in time, and I'm disappointed in you as a human being.
It's okay. Next time Jose comes, he'll have the mustache. Thank you, Amazon.
He grows a mustache really quickly.
Oh, dude, I just concentrate. He's Mexican. Concentrates real hard and just poof.
He just thinks in that direction as hard as he can.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes, while he's concentrating, the beans, it happens. Boop.
Fair enough.
So I'm assuming nothing else? You don't got anything else within your hatred?
That's it. Right now, I'm just rambling because I got nothing.
So, okay, you guys got nothing. All right. Well, then I think it's time that I whore us out of here.
I picked this up.
What is it?
Ooh.
Reading
what do you
through it
got?
again. Can you guys even see that?
All the
It's
shiny is making it hard
Yeah.
to... Is that Saga?
Oh my god,
No.
all that lens flare, you should make movies.
There we go. I don't know if you can read that.
I
It's
still can't
Madame
read this.
Mirage.
Oh, okay.
Paul Dini's.
So, have
Madame
you read
Mirage.
any of it yet?
Yeah.
Well, tell us about it.
Haven't I already talked about Madame Mirage? It's
Didn't
old.
you just say you just picked that up?
I finally got my copy. I read this fucking.
Oh,
like,
okay.
2 years
I
ago. I'm just saying, I
misunderstood.
finally picked it up.
Oh, okay. I thought you like finally picked it up to read it for the first time, kind of thing. And I was like, oh man, why aren't you talking about that? But no, I get you. So let me
I
more.
do have a list of comics I wanted to pick up and haven't read yet.
Can you talk about any of them in a way that's more than just saying I haven't read it and I need to pick it up?
Honestly, it just sounds like he doesn't feel like it.
I'm saying I can, and I know what they're about, but no, like I couldn't give you a review.
It's fine to say no. I got nothing. Trying to wrap the goddamn show up.
I don't know. I feel like you hate me.
No.
I think it's about that time. Hey, Figure, tell the nice people how to get a hold of us.
I think that's a great idea there, Mr. Archangel. Let's do this. If you want to email us, you can hit us up at 5d@5dpodcast.com, numeral 5, not the full word. We're also on Facebook as In5D Podcast, all one word. Again, number 5. We're on YouTube at /5D Podcast. We're on Twitch with the same URL, but with Twitch. We also have Twitters. I know, I'm just mixing this up all the time.
Tweeters.
Our Tweeters. We got 5D_podcast, the main Twitter, and I am Figbird4885. Follow us, tweet at us, say that you hate us, say that you love us. We want feedback. More than anything, we want feedback because we haven't got a lot of it. It's hard to really
feedbacks.
Yeah, we want more information about whether or not you like whole grains, oats, or that alfalfa shit. Either way, the point is you can get us in those places. Let us know how we're doing, whatever, and also you can check us out on iTunes and rate us there because that'd be helpful too.
It would.
Yeah, and tomorrow night, Devin and I are going to be here playing some Neverwinter, or if we can get on that new beta we're trying to get on, playing some new beta that we're trying to get on. It's a surprise.
New beta.
Hopefully we can get it. If not, it's all good. We'll do some Neverwinter. Also, we've been throwing the idea around of doing a gaming session, so stay tuned for that.
Indeed.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Also, it's worth adding, Sunday nights, 5 to 10, me and Figbird, Steven, the guy above me, that dude there, pointing, poink, 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 are doing Divinity Original Sin.
Got it right this
with
time.
Silly voices.
Yeah, we're reading all of the
it helps.
exposition. We're reading all of the exposition in ridiculous voices. We're going to try and make a more consistent voice structure this time, but, you know,
You can
it was
see
fun
me
being
talk like an
ridiculous.
effeminate German man.
or me do ridiculous, crazy laughing voice I'm not going to do on this podcast. You'll have to go there to check it out. Also, as always, we highly appreciate anybody that's listening or watching or being here live. Props to all you people. We love you all. It's been great to do this thing and, you know, bro love or something.
No,
Not bro love. That is not me at all.
we're not doing that.
For shizzle, you know? Are you guys got any
That's like
closing
me going,
thoughts?
yeah, Rasta.
You guys got any closing thoughts?
I don't have thoughts.
Good point.
I
He
don't
has
know
no
how to
thoughts.
respond to that.
All right, so it sounds like we're ending. So you guys all have a good night. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.